Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something really vibrant, the world of Punjabi cultural events happening right across Canada in 2025. Our goal here is pretty simple. Give you a quick rundown, kind of like a shortcut, so you're totally clued in on the big festivals, the music, the amazing food, all the traditions celebrating Punjabi heritage. We're working from this great 2025 guide. It really lays out the whole Canadian Punjabi cultural scene comprehensively.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And what really stands out is just the sheer scale of these celebrations. It really highlights how dynamic cultural expression is, especially in a place like Canada.
Definitely. And when you talk about major Punjabi events, you absolutely have to start with Vaisakhi. It's huge nationwide. You'll find big celebrations in Vancouver, Surrey, Calgary, Brampton, Toronto, Edmonton, usually around, what, April 13th to 15th?
That's right. And Vaisakhi, well, it's incredibly important. It marks the birth of the Khalsa. That was back in 1699, Guru Gobind Singh. It really defined Sikh identity, focusing on things like equality, justice, community service, core principles.
So if you go, you're really part of it, not just watching. Imagine these huge Nagar curtains, amazing street processions, right?
Absolutely. Often with the Holy Scriptures on a float leading the way.
And the free langar, the community meals, served to absolutely everyone, no matter who you are. That spirit of service.
Selfless service, Seva. It's fundamental.
Plus the energy. You've got high-energy Bhangra, that powerful folk dance, and graceful Gita, usually by the women,
Yeah, the performances are fantastic.
and just, stalls everywhere. Really lively community vibe.
And the scale we mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
it's just incredible sometimes. Take the Surrey Maisakhi Parade, April 19th, 2025. It's genuinely one of the largest in North America. They expect over 500,000 people.
Wow, 500,000. That's massive.
It is. And the growth of these parades, it's not just numbers, it's a real statement. Cultural assertion, heritage reimagined in a new place.
That kind of number, 500,000 people. What does that do for the city itself, beyond just the Punjabi community?
Oh, it has a huge impact. It basically turns public spaces into these living cultural showcases, draws people from everywhere. It can really boost understanding, spark conversations between cultures, and just injects this shared sense of celebration into the city. Shows how interwoven these communities are in Canada.
Makes sense. And Toronto's got its big day too, right? Khalsa Day?
Yep, April 27th, 2025, right at Nathan Phillips Square.
So downtown Toronto. Parade there too, and lots of cultural showcases. Really lights up the city center.
Okay, so from Vaisakhi, which is, deeply spiritual but also so joyful,
Right.
the energy kind of flows right into the music scene. The Punjabi music and Bhangra festivals. That's the heartbeat for so many people.
Definitely. These festivals are all about bringing together the biggest names, artists, DJs, amazing dance crews. They really show the whole spectrum of Punjabi music, from folk roots to, like, the global sound it has today.
So, first one to flag maybe. Desi Fest Toronto. May 31st, 2025. They say it's Canada's largest South Asian music festival. Punjabi pop, hip-hop, folk, all at Yonge Square.
Right in the heart of Toronto. Yeah, that's a big one. Always a huge turnout.
Sounds like the place to be if you want a massive party atmosphere.
For sure. Then out west, there's 5X Fest. That's in Surrey, BC, June 13th to 15th, 2025. What's really interesting about 5X is how youth-focused it is. They deliberately mix traditional Bhangra with, like, modern hip-hop contemporary art. It's not just about preserving culture. It's actively reshaping it, which is fascinating. Shows heritage isn't static. It evolves.
That blend, Bhangra and hip-hop, are there challenges in mixing those, or does it just work? Especially for different ages.
Well, it's a balance, right? You want authenticity, but you also want it to feel fresh for younger folks. The success really comes down to the artist being creative, finding common ground in the rhythms, the energy. And when it works, you get something totally new and exciting that can actually bring generations together and pull in wider audiences too.
Cool. And for fans of the big names, the legends, there's the Punjabi Versa Tour Canada 2025. Dates aren't out yet, but we're talking artists like Gurdas Makion, Satinder Sartaj, huge names. Icons, really. Yeah.
Expected in Calgary, Edmonton, Brampton, maybe other cities too. So keep an eye out for those tickets. You'll want to sing along.
Absolutely. Those concerts are always special.
Okay, let's shift gears a little. There's another type of celebration, focusing more on women's traditions, Teyan Damela. These usually happen in July, August.
Right. Teyan celebrates Punjabi women's traditions, and it's linked to the Teyan festival itself, which marks the monsoon season arriving. It's a lovely example of culture tied to nature's cycles, and it's a real focal point for women celebrating together.
And you'll mainly find these in places with large Punjabi communities like Brampton, Mississauga, Surrey.
Exactly. Those are the key spots.
What can you expect if you go?
Oh, lots of energy. Lively Gita competitions, that's the women's folk dance we mentioned. Amazing traditional food, of course. And often you'll see Punjabi bridal fashion shows. Stunning outfits. It's a real showcase of women's cultural expression, artistry, sisterhood, all of that.
Nice. So beyond the big stages and the dance floors, there's also a strong film and literature scene, right? Another way to connect.
Definitely. And a key event there is IFFSA Toronto, International Film Festival of South Asia, that's usually in May. It's huge for showcasing Punjabi cinema premieres, panels with filmmakers, short film competitions. Crucially, it acts as a hub, connecting diaspora filmmakers with the industry. It really helps new voices get their stories out there.
That's great. And for people who love books or history.
Punjabi book and heritage fairs. These pop up at different times, often run by local libraries or cultural centers. You'll find them in Brampton, Surrey, Vancouver, places like that. Great way to dig into the literature, the history, the stories that shape the culture.
Good to know. Okay, broadening out again. Let's talk about general cultural exhibitions and Mela events. Mela just means fair, right?
Yeah, basically a fair or a large gathering.
Yeah.
And they're fantastic for just soaking everything in.
Like the Punjabi Mela Calgary. That's in August 2025.
Right. That's a classic example. A traditional Mela feel. Shopping stalls, cultural dances, tons of food. Like a vibrant village fair set up in the city.
Sounds fun. And it's not just standalone Punjabi events either, is it?
No, exactly. Punjabi communities are deeply involved in wider Canadian celebrations, too. Like, think about Multiculturalism Day events on June 27th.
Oh, right.
You'll often see Punjabi groups participating in those citywide events, showcasing traditional music, maybe some powerful dole drumming. Within that bigger picture of all Canadian cultures celebrating together, it's a nice synergy.
So lots of big annual things, but what about like year-round? You don't always have to wait for the big festival, right?
Not at all. Universities and community groups are super active, constantly hosting Punjabi nights, smaller events. They're really accessible ways to dip into the culture.
You mean like the student associations?
Yeah, exactly. Punjabi student associations, PSAs at major universities like UBC, York, University of Alberta, they're very active. And often these uni events are where you see cool new stuff happening, like fusion music, contemporary dance takes, new interpretations of heritage.
So what kind of things might you find?
All sorts. Could be lively Bhangra nights, fusion cultural shows, mixing different styles, sometimes even fancy charity galas with a Punjabi theme. There's always something going on. Shows how adaptable and, alive the culture is.
Okay, this is all amazing. So many events. But how do you, the listener, actually keep track of all this? How do you find out what's happening when?
Good question. The guide has some solid tips on this. Definitely follow local Punjabi radio stations, Red FM, RNGD Radio, Radio India. They're central hubs for community news and events.
Okay, radio. Makes sense.
Also online communities, Facebook groups like Punjabis in Toronto or Punjabis in BC, stuff like that. Lots of grassroots event info gets shared there.
Right, social media.
And just keep an eye on platforms like Eventbrite. Plus, check the event calendars for your local gurdwaras, the Sikh places of worship. They often host or promote community events.
So radio, Facebook, Eventbrite, Gurdwaras. Got it.
It puts the power in your hands, really.
Yeah. Knowing where to look means you can actually go out and explore all this, participate, be part of Canada's amazing Punjabi cultural tapestry, not just hear about it. Wow. We've covered a lot. What an incredible range of events. It really shows the diversity and just the sheer energy of Punjabi culture in Canada.
Yeah.
Huge Vaisakhi parades, intimate book fairs, massive music festivals. Clearly a community that's super rich in tradition, but also constantly evolving, expressing itself in new ways.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about how these vibrant celebrations do more than just preserve heritage from back home. How do they actively shape and enrich Canada's wider multicultural identity? Creating new ways for everyone to connect and express themselves in this shared space. It's something really interesting to consider.